Hello everyone, welcome to UN Digital class. In today's class of computer organization, we are going to discuss about the cache mapping concept. In our previous classes, I have already discussed about the cache memory and the memory hierarchy. In that lectures, I told you that cache memory size is very small as compared to the main memory or secondary memory, and that cache memory is basically needed to increase the performance of a system. How it will increase? Because the cache memory is here in the same chip where our processor is built, or you can say the cache memory is inside the processor chip. Okay, that means in one chip there is processor and the cache memory, and the main memory and the secondary memory is outside of that processor chip. Here you can see. So, for every fetching operation or read operation or write operation, any type of operation related to the memory, the processor has to go to the main memory. But it will take more time if it will go to the main memory for every operation, and to access the information which is stored in the main memory, it will take also more time. So, there is some part of the RAM is called as the cache memory, and that cache memory is built in the same chip of CPU. So, for every operation it does not need to go to the main memory, so it can collect that from the cache memory, and when it will sort in the cache memory, if that data is present in the cache memory, then that is called as cache heat concept. But when the data which that processor needs, it is not present in the cache memory or it is absent in the cache memory, then that is called as cache miss. So, in the case of heat, CPU will get the data what it needs from the cache memory. But when it is a cache miss, then first the data has to be moved from the main memory to the cache, then from the cache to the CPU, or directly from the main memory it can given to the processor. I have already discussed in the flow chart of reading operation. You can go to the previous lectures if you have any doubt regarding this. Okay. So, to overcome this cache miss, we have to store the information or data whatever in the main memory to the cache. Okay. So, basically what happened, the main memory is, here is the main memory and here is the cache memory. Okay. So, main memory and cache memory both are divided into some partitions, or you can say it is divided into small parts, and that is called as block. And the block concept is basically attached with the main memory, and cache memory it is called as line. In the cache memory also you can call it as a block, but in many competitive exams when you will face some problems regarding this mapping concept, there you will get the word line with the cache memory and the block with the main memory. So, with this we will go with the line and block. Okay. Or you can say also cache memory block, but you cannot say the main memory lines. So, this is called as cache line and here is the memory blocks. So, you have to move the block of information or the block of words into the cache memory. So, how will move that block of words or block of information into the cache memory? Because the main memory size is very high as compared to the cache memory, but we have to move some data to the cache memory. And when we will move some data to the cache memory, where it will be stored? That is organized or that is done by the techniques used called as mapping. So, there are three types of mapping: direct mapping, associative mapping and set associative mapping. So you can say the mapping is a technique by which you can assign the memory blocks, that is the main memory blocks, into the cache memory lines. So we will discuss one after another mapping techniques, and then we will discuss also an example of that. Okay. So first let us go through the direct mapping technique. Why it is called as direct mapping? Because whatever the block in the main memory, you can place it in the cache memory in a specific location, or you can say the location is already given, or in other word also you can say the main memory block is placed in a specific cache line. You cannot change the location for a block. Let us see how. Here is the cache memory, and here is our main memory. Here is our main memory and cache memory. As I have told you that main memory is basically divided into number of blocks, and cache memory is divided into number of lines. So these are lines, let L0, L1, L2 like this, and here is B0, B1, B2, B3 like this. Let us take an example that the cache memory size is our 16 words and the main memory size is our 128 words. That means in a cache memory we can store only 16 words, and in the main memory you can store 128 words, and each line of the cache memory can hold only 4 words. Okay. And another concept you have to remember that the line size of the cache memory is equal to the main memory block size. Here you can see the cache memory line size equals to main memory block size, because in the mapping technique we have to move a complete block of main memory and we have to store that block into the cache memory line. If we have cache memory line size, let it is less than main memory block size, then how we will store a large amount of data in a small amount of memory space? So it is not possible. Okay, and vice versa is also true. That's why the cache memory line size and main memory block size is equal. For all the mapping techniques, the concept is same. Okay. In the operating system, when we will study about the operating system, in that you will deal with the concept like frame and the pages. So basically page size and the frame size is equal. Okay. And here the line size and block size is equal. In the problem, let only the cache line size is given, so you have to consider the memory block size also same as the line size. Okay. So if it is given that cache memory line size is equals to 4 words, or that means a line can hold only 4 words and the cache memory holds 16 words. Okay. And in that reason, as the cache memory line size is equals to main memory block size, so also the main memory block, a single block can hold 4 words, and if one block holds 4 words and there the main memory can hold 128 words, then how many blocks we are having in the main memory? It is approximately, you can divide, it is 32 blocks. That means we are having blocks from B0 to B31. Okay. And how many lines we are having in our cache memory? It is approximately 4 lines. Okay. So L0, L1, L2 and L3. So there are 4 lines in the cache memory and there are 32 blocks in the main memory, and we have to map these 32 blocks into these 4 lines. So let us see what are blocks can be stored in the line 0 and what are the blocks stored in the line 1. So, in the direct mapping concept, the location is fixed. That means there is a location in which whenever the B0 will be assigned into the cache memory, it has to be stored in that location. And how we will get that location? There is a formula, it is called as K mod N. Okay. Let L equals to K mod N, and here what is the K? K is the block number of main memory and N value is our number of lines in cache memory. And what you have to find out? You have to find out the line number. So, L is let our line number. Okay. So, how will do this? Let us take an example. We want to store the B2 or we want to find out the location where the B2 will be assigned in the cache memory. How will get it? B2 means the K value is our 2. Mod, what is the number of lines in the cache memory? It is 4. So, what is the remainder? Remainder is our 2. That means the block number 2 will be stored in the line number 2. That means B2 will be here. Okay. And if we will get like 0 mod 4 for block 0, where the block 0 will be stored, and for every moving operation, whenever the B0 will come into the cache memory, then it will be stored. It is mandatory actually. You have to store that B0 in the L0. The B0 block cannot be assigned to L1, L2 or L3. Okay. So, here is our B0 as the remainder is our 0. Then here is our B1. You can get it from this 1 mod 4. Okay. Then if I will do it for block number 3, 3 mod 4, that means B3 is here. So, like this, here is our B4, B5, B6, B7, like this up to here is our B31. Here is B28, B29, B30 and B31. That means this is the range of blocks from which whenever a single block comes to the cache memory, or if you want to store a block in the cache memory, then it has to be stored in that line. That means whenever the B0 or B4 or B28 it will comes into the cache memory, it has to be stored in the line number 0. Like this, when the B2 or B6 will come, and you have to remember one block can be assigned into the cache memory at a single point of time. You cannot assign multiple blocks because we are setting the line size is equals to block size. Okay. So, whenever the B6 will come into the cache memory, it has to be stored in the line number 2. Okay. So, this is the concept of direct mapping. The location is already fixed or the blocks has to be assigned into a fixed location. If let B1 is here and if you want to store B5, okay, and these two lines are empty. Okay, but in the direct mapping concept, you cannot assign, you cannot store this B5 into L2 or L3, okay, because it is already fixed that whenever the B5 block will comes into the cache memory, it has to be stored in the line number 1. This is the concept K mod N. So, here what this block holds actually? This block holds 4 words each. That means B0 holds W0, W1, W2, W3, and B1 holds W4, 5, 6, 7 like this. And at last what this B31 will hold? It will hold W 124, 125, 126, 127. So this is the 128 words 0 to 127, and it is stored in the block, and this completely block will be assigned into a cache line. Okay, and this is the concept of mapping. But how the processor will know that where the block is placed? So processor will only generate the address. That means it will send an address to the memory that we want. Let the processor generates the address like this. Zero one concept. Okay. So for this diagram, for this example, what will be the address field? How will know? If the system has the main memory size as 128 words and the cache memory size is 16 words, so the address size will be, that is our physical address which is generated by the processor. So the physical address size will be, to represent this 128 words, we need approximately 7 bits. Why? Because 128 is equals to 2 to the power 7. Whenever you are confused about the number of bits required to represent a word or a memory, you just have to convert it into the power of 2. Whatever the power of 2, that will be the number of bits. Here 128 is represented at 2 to the power 7. So the physical address size is equals to 7 bit. And this address is basically contains two fields. First field is our word offset, or you can say word offset or block offset. That means which number word the CPU wants. Okay. And this field is taken as the tag field, or you can say it is the field reserved for the block. Okay. So for this main memory concept, we are not going to the cache memory. We have to only address, or we have to only generate the fields for the memory, that is our main memory. So for this and this both are included in the 7 bit. So what will be the word offset size? Here you can see one block can hold only 4 words. So to represent these 4 words, how many bits we require? We require only 2 bits. That is our 00, 01, 101, 11. And these tag or block fields are the remaining bits. And what are the remaining? That is our 5. Okay. And here also you can see these 5 bits are required to represent the block number. And 2 to the power 5 equals to 32. That means in the main memory, you can get from this that in the main memory there must be 32 number of blocks. Here you can see B02, B31, 32 number of blocks are here. Okay. So this is the physical address which is generated by the CPU. Okay. Or you can say the address which is generated by the CPU, it must contain 7 bits, and from that the LSB bits, least significant bits, are represented as word offset, and the most 5 significant bits represents the block number. Okay. And how this will be changed into the cache memory address? Because actually blocks are in the cache memory, but the CPU generates that. So how it will get the blocks from the cache memory by using that physical address. So let's see. So as I have told you that the line size is equals to the block size. So for the cache memory, the total number of bits required to represent the address is our same, the 7 bits, because from that we have to get the data from the cache memory or the word from the cache memory. So 7 bits required. First 2 bits are called as word offset, as you can see there, word offset, and second 2, that is our the second 5 bits are divided into 2 fields. What are these? This field represent the lines basically, and here is our tag field, and this line field is used to provide the number of lines. And how many lines are there? 4 lines. So to represent these 4 lines we need 2 bits, and the remaining bit is our 3. So these 3 bits are required to represent the tag field. Okay. So let's take an example that how the processor will generate an address and how will be represented in the main memory and in the cache memory. Okay. Let CPU generate this address, and if you will decode this, then what is the value? The value will be 0, 1, 2, 3 like this. So it will be 6. Okay. That means the CPU wants to read the word number 6, and you don't have any idea that this word 6 is present where in the cache memory and also in the main memory. So you have to find out the block value and the line value where this word 6 lies. Okay. So how we will get it? First, for the main memory concept, you have to divide this address into 2 parts, as I have given there. First 2 represents the word offset, and these 5 bits represents the block number, or you can say the tag here. So this value represents the second word of which block? This is the block value. So the block number is here our B1, because if we will decode this, you will get 1. That means B1, it is our second word. Here you can see, you have to go to the B1 first because it is stored in the block 1. So first go to the block 1, then in the block 1, what is the place of the word? Because we don't know what is the word the CPU wants. So the word is the word is present in the second position. So what is the second position? It is the 0th position, it is the first, it is the second. Here you will get the word number 6, what the CPU wants. But if it is mapped into the cache memory, then how we will get it from the cache memory? Let's see. So this is the address. So for the cache memory, first 2 is our word offset or the word position in the block, and next 2 is our line value, and these 3 is our tag. That means it represents the position of block. Here you can see the L0 contains approximately 8 blocks, or it can contain 1 block at a time, that is true, but the ranges what it can hold approximately 8 number of blocks. Okay. So to represent that we need 3 bits. Okay. Like first one is our 000, if it is 000 that means B0, if it is 001 that means B4, if it is 0010 That means the next one it will be B8 like this. Okay. So what is the value? Here is, you can see the word value is our 10. That means the word is in our second position of which line? That means you have to find out the position of one in the block, and we have already mapped the block from the main memory into the cache. So first you have to find out. So the line value is here L1 because this value is our 1. So line 1, and then tag field is our 000. That means block is in the first. Here is, you can see, this is our B1. This position is 000. This is 001, like you can see. So B1 line number is our 1. Here you can see. So first you have to go to the line number 1. Then from the line number 1, which block? Block is our B1. Then from this B1, as you can see, B1 holds 4 words: W4, W5, W6 and W7. And what is the position of word? Second position. That means W6. Okay. So like this, you can get the position of a word in the cache memory and also in the main memory by decoding the address whatever is generated by the CPU. So this is the concept of direct mapping. In the next class, we will discuss about the advantages and disadvantages of direct mapping, and with that also we will discuss about the associative mapping and set associative mapping. If you have any doubt, you can give it in the comment box. Till then, thank you.